Far beyond the blue skies of Earth and the vast emptiness of space, a strange sound suddenly broke the silence. It was not a sound anyone on Earth could hear, but machines' highly advanced sensors and deep space listening posts got it clearly. The sound was a cry, a desperate, long, echoing cry that stretched across light years. It traveled through the dark, cold vacuum between stars, reaching the edge of Earth's space. This was no ordinary signal. It was different, alien, and filled with a deep urgency that made the very machines that received it shiver with warning. On Earth, in the great command center, deep underground, the Deathworlders watched the signal unfold. The Deathworlders were humanity's elite soldiers, scientists, and strategists, hardened by years of surviving on the most dangerous planets. Earth had changed. It had become a place where only the strong and ready could live. Earth's people had learned to fight and survive no matter what the universe threw at them. Now, they faced a mystery that could change everything. Commander Aaron stood before the giant holographic screen, watching the strange waves pulse across the stars. "What is that?" he asked, his voice steady but tense. His crew around him were experts in alien signals, but even they looked puzzled. The signal was unlike anything in their database. It was not a language or a code they recognized. Instead, it was raw emotion, fear, pain, and warning, all mixed in one long, haunting sound. "We've never seen this kind of signal before," said Lieutenant Mara, a young but brilliant analyst. "It's like a cry for help. Or maybe a warning, but from who? And why now?" The room was silent. The weight of those questions hung in the air. Every second the signal grew stronger, and with it, a strange energy ripple started to affect Earth's defense satellites. Systems flickered, and alarms beeped softly. Something about the signal was not just sound, it carried power. A power that could reach across the stars and touch Earth itself. Suddenly, the screen showed movement. A small scout ship already on patrol near the outer edges of the solar system had detected something. Something big. Something alive. The alien warship had appeared, like a shadow slipping out from a dark cloud in space. The black nebula, known as the Silent Void. No one had ever dared to enter that nebula. It was a place where ships had vanished before, swallowed by the endless darkness. Commander Aaron's heart pounded. They're coming out. The warship was unlike anything Earth had faced. Its shape was sharp and jagged, almost organic, but made of metal. Lights flickered along its hull in strange colors that humans had never seen. It moved with a grace and speed that was impossible to predict. The scout ship sent back images, but even those looked almost like nightmares, alien and terrible, inside the alien ship. No words were spoken. No sounds were made, but the silent halls were alive with tension. The crew of the warship moved like shadows, their faces hidden beneath dark helmets. They did not know who had sent the cry, but they answered it with power. They were ready for war. Back on Earth, the Deathworlder leaders met in the War Council chamber. They argued fiercely over what to do. Some said the signal was a trap, a lure to draw Earth's forces into a deadly battle. Others believed it was a real call for help, a chance to form an alliance with a new species. Commander Aaron listened carefully but said nothing. His mind was already racing, planning for the worst. "We must prepare for battle," he finally said. "This signal brought a warship out of hiding. We cannot wait to see what they want. We must show strength." Across the galaxy, other listening posts also picked up the cry. Some worlds ignored it, others prepared quietly. But Earth's Deathworlders were different. They were ready to fight. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, people watched the stars nervously. News channels broadcasted the story non-stop. A mysterious alien cry had echoed across the stars. What did it mean? Was Earth in danger? Families held their breath as satellites disappeared one by one behind a strange space storm that seemed to grow near the silent void. The storm was a swirling mass of dark clouds and violent lightning, an unpredictable force of nature and space. Scientists on Earth were baffled. No one understood how it formed or why it stayed near the warship's last known position. But it blocked all communication and made any space travel dangerous. The scout ship, sent to investigate, entered the storm. For hours, it sent shaky images back to Earth. Lightning flashed across the screen. Shadows danced in the thick clouds, and then, suddenly, the ship vanished. No signal, no distress call, nothing. It was as if the storm had swallowed it whole. Commander Aaron felt a cold chill. The warship and the storm were linked, but how? And what waited inside the dark nebula? He ordered a full alert. Every Deathworlder soldier, pilot, and ship was ready for action. This was no longer just a mystery. It was a warning and a challenge. Then, from the storm's edge, a small object drifted away, a glowing, strange artifact. Scientists rushed to study it. It was heavy, made of unknown metals, and pulsed with a faint blue light. The artifact held secrets that could change the fate of humanity. It was also dangerous. Lieutenant Mara touched the artifact carefully. Suddenly, it sent a powerful energy wave through the room. Machines hummed and flickered. The artifact's light grew brighter. It seemed to be alive. Silent message traveled inside its glowing that no one could yet understand. Outside the lab, the city lights dimmed for a moment. Power grids flickered and then returned. Something had awakened, something that had been waiting in the darkness. In the days that followed, strange things began to happen. Systems on Earth and in space started to malfunction. Communications were jammed. Reports came in of shadowy figures moving through remote colonies. Whispers of an ancient war, long forgotten, began to surface. Commander Aaron stood on the observation deck, looking up at the stars. The cry from the void had become a roar in his mind. He knew Earth's fate was tied to that signal, to the artifact, and to the mysterious warship still hidden somewhere in the silent void. He clenched his fists. "We will answer that cry," he said quietly. "With fire, with strength, and with every last breath we have." The stars watched silently. The galaxy was about to change forever. As the mysterious cry from the depths of space echoed in Earth's listening stations, the atmosphere inside Earth's War Command grew tense and electric. Commander Aaron knew the time for waiting was over. The alien warship had appeared from the silent void, a place so dark and dangerous that many feared it. Now the Deathworlders had to act fast and without mercy. Earth's finest soldiers, pilots, and ships prepared for battle like never before. The Deathworlder fleets were not ordinary forces. They were the best of humanity, trained for decades to survive the harshest planets, the deadliest enemies, and the unforgiving cold of space. Their ships were sleek, but heavily armed, designed to strike hard and vanish quickly. Their soldiers wore powerful armor that could survive nuclear blasts and alien toxins alike. Every member of the Deathworlder forces carried the weight of Earth's survival on their shoulders. In the command room, large holograms floated in the air, showing the last known position of the alien warship. It had vanished into the storm. The deadly mass of swirling space clouds and electric storms that no ship dared enter without losing contact forever. The storm was like a wall, a shield hiding secrets and danger behind its electric curtain. The Deathworlders had no choice but to chase. Aaron studied the hologram with sharp eyes. "We send the hunter ships," he ordered. "Fastest, strongest fighters. They will enter the storm, find the alien ship, and report back." Lieutenant Mara nodded, already typing commands into the system. The hunter ships were small and extremely fast, built for quick attacks and quick escapes. They carried high-powered weapons but lacked heavy armor to keep their speed. They were the tip of Earth's spear. Outside the command center, the skies were filled with the sounds of ships powering up and the hum of engines ready to roar. Across Earth's spaceports, pilots prepared their suits and weapons, faces hard with determination. They knew the mission was dangerous. No one had ever returned from the silent void once they entered the storm. As the hunter ships entered the storm's edge, the command center watched in silence. The storm's electricity flashed wildly, lighting up the dark clouds with blue and purple lightning. The hunter's sensors struggled against the storm's interference. Suddenly, a a sharp alarm went off. The first hunter ship sent a shaky message. Contact. Alien warship detected. Coordinates locked. The tension inside Earth's command center rose. The alien ship was there, hidden in the storm's heart. It moved with speed and power, evading every attempt to scan it clearly. Its weapons glowed, faintly ready for battle. But then, without warning, the alien warship disappeared again. No signal, no movement. It was as if the storm had swallowed it once more. The hunter ships held position, scanning and waiting. What kind of power could hide a whole warship from the most advanced sensors on Earth? Then the impossible happened. From the storm's center, a strange object drifted away, the same glowing artifact that had appeared before. This time the hunters collected it carefully, knowing its importance. But the artifact's light pulsed faster and brighter, sending waves of energy that caused ship systems to flicker. Commander Aaron felt a deep unease. The artifact was more than a simple object. It was alive in some way, and it was connected to the alien warship and the storm. Its message was clear. Earth was no longer just a target. Earth had become a player in a game far older and far more dangerous than anyone had guessed. Back on Earth, scientists worked around the clock to study the artifact. Its metals were strange, almost organic, but unbreakable. Its blue light held patterns that shifted constantly like a living code. Attempts to unlock its secrets only made it glow brighter and pulse with strange energy. The artifact seemed to communicate, but in a language no one understood. Meanwhile, tensions grew not just in space, but within Earth's own leadership. Some wanted to destroy the artifact, fearing it was a weapon of doom. Others believed it held the key to victory. Arguments broke out behind closed doors, but Commander Aaron remained focused on the enemy's warship lurking in the storm. The warship was more than a ship. It was a symbol of an unknown enemy's power. It had appeared suddenly, striking fear into Earth's heart. But what was its purpose? Why did it answer the cry from the void with such force? Was it a warning or a prelude to invasion? Days passed with no contact from the alien warship. The storm still raged, blocking all attempts to find or attack it. Earth's Deathworlders watched and waited, preparing for the battle they knew was coming. Then, strange reports began to arrive from colonies on the edge of Earth's control. Communications flickered with static, then broke into silence. Some colonies reported seeing shadowy figures moving just beyond their sensors, shapes that disappeared before anyone could get close. Supplies went missing, and some outposts sent. Desperate pleas for help then went silent. The Deathworlders understood the warning. The war was already here. It was closer than they thought. Commander Aaron held a briefing with his top officers. "The alien warship is not alone," he said gravely. "We face an enemy with many weapons, some in space, some on the ground. We must be ready for every threat." The officers nodded, knowing the truth in his words. The fight for Earth's survival was only beginning as night fell on Earth. The sky was dark, but in his mind, the cry from the void still echoed loud and clear. The galaxy was changing, and Earth's Deathworlders would answer with relentless force, no matter what it cost. The glowing artifact sat in the center of the research lab, resting on a special platform designed to contain its strange energy. Scientists gathered around it, their faces filled with curiosity and caution. They had spent hours studying the alien object, but every moment only deepened the mystery. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, a perfect blend of metal and light, pulsing softly as if breathing. Lieutenant Mara watched the scientists closely. She knew this artifact was more than just a piece of alien technology. It was a message, a weapon, and possibly a key to survival. But what it unlocked, no one could say. The symbols on its surface shifted like waves on water, patterns flowing in and out of existence, never the same twice. Attempts to scan or touch it directly caused sparks and electrical surges that threw instruments offline. In the command center, Commander Aaron paced slowly. The artifact had changed the mood among the leaders. Some wanted to destroy it immediately, fearing it was a trap designed to bring disaster to Earth. Others argued that it might be the secret weapon humanity needed to fight the alien threat. Lurking beyond the storm, Aaron himself was torn, but he knew waiting was not an option. Suddenly, the artifact reacted. Its light brightened and shot a beam toward the ceiling, where it broke apart into a holographic map. Stars, planets, and strange symbols appeared in the air. The image showed a part of the galaxy Earth had never explored, a network of ancient alien ruins scattered across star systems. The artifact seemed to point toward a forgotten war machine buried deep in one of those systems, a machine so powerful it could change the course of any war. The scientists were stunned. This was more than a weapon. It was a call to arms, a sign that the war they feared had roots much older than Earth itself. Somewhere out there, hidden in the dark reaches of space, lay the key to stopping the enemy or destroying everything. But as they studied the holographic map, a new danger emerged. On Earth's night side, in the shadows of the cities and colonies, secret groups began moving. Rogue agents and spies slipped through the cracks, seeking the artifact for their own reasons. Some wanted to sell it to the highest bidder. Others wanted to use its power to seize control of Earth. The artifact had become the most wanted object in the galaxy. One night, alarms rang out in the research lab. A group of armed intruders had broken through security and were moving toward the artifact. The guards fought bravely, but the intruders were well-trained, ruthless. Lieutenant Mara was called in to lead the defense. In the tense silence of the lab, Mara and her team faced the intruders in a battle that tested their skills and courage. Blaster fire echoed, shadows flickered, and the artifact's light pulsed. Wildly, it was as if the artifact itself was alive, reacting to the danger around it. The fight ended with the intruders retreating. But the attack sent a clear message. The artifact was too valuable to be left unprotected. Commander Aaron ordered that the artifact be moved to a secret location deep underground, guarded by the best Deathworlder soldiers. As the artifact was transported, strange phenomena began happening across Earth. Power grids failed in sudden blackouts. Communications were jammed by strange interference. And then in the darkest hours, a pulse of energy blasted from the artifact's new resting place, a wave of power that spread across Earth and into space. Satellites caught the pulse and relayed it back to the command center. The signal was a warning and a call. The ancient enemies of Earth were waking. Creatures and machines long thought extinct began to stir in the far reaches of space and on forgotten worlds. Commander Aaron stared at the screens, knowing that the artifact's pulse had changed the game. The war was no longer just between Earth and the alien warship in the storm. It had grown into something larger and more dangerous, and in the shadows beyond Earth, the alien warships stirred again. The crew prepared to respond to the artifacts. Awakening. Their mission was clear: to find the ancient war machine first and control the fate of the galaxy. The race had begun. Earth's Deathworlders had a secret weapon, but it was also a beacon that could lead enemies straight to them. Every moment counted. Every decision mattered. Commander Aaron's voice was calm, but firm as he addressed his team. We hold the artifact now. We protect it at all costs. But we must also unlock its secrets. The future of Earth depends on it. The stars outside twinkled cold and distant, but the battle for survival had moved closer, and no one knew what lay waiting in the darkness ahead. The history of Earth's Deathworlders was written in blood and fire. Long ago, humanity had been fragile soft, dependent on peaceful planets and gentle skies. But that time was gone. Earth had become a battleground, a place where only the strongest could survive. The Deathworlders were born from this harsh reality, a new breed of humans who had adapted to survive on the most hostile worlds, fighting off savage beasts, deadly weather, and merciless enemies. They were humanity's last hope, trained to face threats that no ordinary soldier could stand against. In the quiet moments before dawn, Commander Aaron sat alone in his quarters, staring at a worn photo of his home planet before it was turned into a fortress. He remembered stories from the old wars, how humans had lost countless worlds, how entire colonies were destroyed by alien forces. Those losses had hardened them. Earth was no longer a peaceful place. It was a death world. A world where pain, was common, and survival was never guaranteed. The cry from the stars had brought those memories rushing back. It was a reminder that the past was never truly gone. The ancient enemies who once tried to destroy humanity were stirring again. The artifact had awakened them from their long sleep, and now, shadows from Earth's darkest history were coming back to life. Suddenly, the calm was broken by an urgent message. Remote colonies on the edge of Earth's space reported strange attacks. Their communications were filled with fear and confusion. Outposts destroyed, supplies stolen, shadows moving just beyond the edge of sensors. The attackers were unknown, but they moved with deadly precision and silence. Commander Aaron called an emergency meeting. Council of leaders gathered, faces grave and tense. "These are no random raids," Aaron said. "They are scouts, probing our defenses. They want to weaken us before the real war begins." The officers nodded in agreement. The alien warship in the silent void was no longer the only threat. Something far more dangerous was spreading through the outer colony's creatures and machines that had been waiting for the artifact's pulse to wake. At the same time, deep within Earth's intelligence networks, coded messages hinted at something else, an ancient power rising from the ruins of long-dead civilizations. The very stars seemed to whisper warnings in a language only the oldest scholars could barely understand. The galaxy was filled with secrets, and Earth's Deathworlders were now caught in the middle of a cosmic game they barely understood. In one remote colony on the edge of known space, a small team of Deathworlder scouts fought for survival. There, sensors detected movement in the dark forests that covered the planet's surface. Strange shapes moved through the trees, neither fully alive nor completely mechanical. These shadow creatures hunted with terrifying speed and silence. The scouts fought bravely, but their weapons barely slowed the attackers. One by one, the scouts disappeared into the night, their screams swallowed by the thick alien air. Only one survivor escaped, running through the forests to warn Earth of the new enemy. Back on Earth, the survivor's story sent shockwaves through the command center. The shadow creatures were part of the ancient enemy's plan. They were the living proof that the war was about to spread beyond the stars and into every world humanity controlled. Commander Aaron's resolve hardened. "We cannot run from this," he said. "We will face the darkness head-on. Our past has prepared us for this moment." Plans were made to send reinforcements to the colonies. New weapons were developed, designed to fight the shadow creatures and the unknown machines that followed. Scientists raced against time to understand the alien technology behind the attacks. But as Earth prepared for battle, a new voice spoke. Across the void, a chilling message from the alien warship's commander. Their words were clear, filled with cold threat and certainty. "You will all perish." The message sent a shiver through Earth's leaders. It was no longer a warning. It was a promise. The war was coming. It would be the fight of humanity's existence. In the quiet moments before the storm, Commander Aaron looked once more at the stars. The cry from the void was no longer just a sound. It was a call to war, to survival, and to fight for the future of Earth. The shadows of the past had returned, and Earth's Deathworlders would answer. The silence of space shattered as Earth's Deathworlder fleets surged forward, slicing through the black void toward the silent void storm. And the warship that had appeared months before was still out there, hidden but deadly. A ghost lurking behind the electric storm. Commander Aaron stood on the bridge of the flagship, eyes fixed on the swirling darkness ahead. The cold metal beneath his feet reminded him that this was no ordinary battle. This was a war for humanity's survival. Every ship in the fleet was on high alert, weapons charged and ready to fire at a moment's notice. Pilots gripped their controls tightly, their faces masks of focus and determination. The Deathworlders had trained for this, for a fight where every second could mean life or death, where enemies could strike from the shadows without warning. Now, the enemy was close, and the war had finally come. The storm was a living nightmare. It crackled with electric lightning and pulsed with dark energy that twisted space itself. The ship's sensors struggled against the storm's interference, signals breaking in and out like whispers in a tempest. Communications flickered, and crews fought to stay connected. One wrong move, and a ship could be lost forever to the storm's crushing power. Then, out of the storm's heart, the alien warship appeared larger and more terrifying than any Earth ship. Its jagged hull gleamed with alien metals and strange weapons glowed with an eerie light. The warship moved silently, weaving through the storm's electric fury with deadly grace. It was clear the enemy was ready for battle. The first shots rang out like thunder. Earth's ships returned fire, their weapons blazing. The storm roared around them, turning the battlefield into chaos. The sky was a storm of light and sound, of death and fury. Commander Aaron shouted orders, his voice cutting through the noise. Focus on the warship's engines. We disable them, and we win this fight. The fleet adjusted its attack, targeting the glowing engines that powered the alien ship's speed and strength, but the enemy was clever and ruthless. The warship fired back with deadly precision, tearing through Earth's fighters. One by one, ships exploded in brilliant flames, debris scattering across the void. The Deathworlders fought fiercely, refusing to retreat even as their numbers dwindled. Inside the alien warship, the dark figures watched the battle unfold. They moved silently, their faces hidden behind helmets that reflected the deadly light of the storm. Their mission was clear: protect the ship at all costs, and destroy Earth's fleet before it could strike a decisive blow. As the battle raged, the artifact on Earth pulsed with strange energy, sending waves of power through the planet and into space. It was as if the artifact was alive, connected to the fight, feeding energy to Earth's forces. Scientists monitoring the artifact were amazed and frightened by its power. It could be the key to victory or destruction. Suddenly, a warning blared in the command center. Sensors detected an unknown object approaching Earth at high speed, a small but heavily armed shuttle, cloaked in shadows. It slipped past Earth's defenses and landed near the artifact's secret base. Lieutenant Mara led a team to intercept the intruders. They moved quickly through dark corridors, weapons ready. The intruders were not soldiers like the Deathworlders. They were something else, silent and deadly. The team fought hard, but the intruders had technology unlike anything Earth had seen. During the fight, Mara noticed one intruder trying to reach the artifact. She fired her weapon, but the intruder vanished into a shadow, disappearing like smoke. The artifact's light flared wildly, as if reacting to the attack. Back in space, the battle reached a fever pitch. The alien warship, despite heavy damage, activated a hidden weapon, a pulse cannon that sent a wave of energy rippling through the Deathworlder fleet. Ships were thrown off course, systems failed, and panic spread. Commander Aaron gritted his teeth. Hold formation, regroup and counterattack. The remaining ships responded, forming a tight circle of defense around the flagship. In the chaos, the warship suddenly slowed, engines failing. Earth's fighters saw their chance and attacked fiercely, blasting the enemy ship's hull until it groaned and sparks flew. Then, with a final explosion, the warship broke apart, pieces burning in the cold void. Victory came at a terrible cost. Many ships were lost, and many lives along with them. Commander Aaron felt the weight of each loss, deep in his soul. But the war was far from over. On Earth, the artifact's light dimmed after the battle, settling into a steady glow. It had given Earth strength, but its secrets were still locked away. The alien intruders had escaped, and the Shadow War was only beginning. Commander Aaron stood once again beneath the stars, knowing this was just the first battle in a long, brutal war. The galaxy was vast, filled with enemies and dangers waiting in the dark. But Earth's Deathworlders had answered. The cry from the stars? They had fought with fire, strength, and courage, and they would fight again. The victory against the alien warship had brought a moment of relief, but the cost weighed heavily on Earth's shoulders. Ships destroyed, lives lost, and the mysterious artifact still held secrets that no one could fully understand. Commander Aaron knew the fight was far from over. If anything, the battle had awakened something darker, not just in space, but within Earth itself. Back at the secret base where the artifact was kept, security was tighter than ever. The corridors, scanning for any signs of intrusion. Yet, despite all precautions, strange events began to unfold. Systems malfunctioned without explanation. Data files corrupted mysteriously. Shadows moved in places where no one should have been. Lieutenant Mara was assigned to lead the security detail around the artifact. She was sharp, brave, and had survived the earlier attack. But even she felt uneasy as she walked the halls, sensing eyes watching from the dark. The intruders who attacked the artifact once were still out there, and they were not done. One night, Mara discovered a hidden message in the base's computer system, code embedded deep within the artifact's energy signature. It was a call, a secret beacon sent across space, waiting for someone to answer. The message hinted at an ancient alliance, long forgotten. Between Earth's ancestors and a powerful alien race, Mara brought the discovery to Commander Aaron. The room fell, silent as he listened. "If this is true," Aaron said, "the artifact is more than a weapon. It is a link to a past we barely understand. And that link may be why the enemy is hunting us so fiercely." As they debated their next steps, an explosion rocked the base. Alarms blared and chaos erupted. Intruders had struck again, this time inside Earth's own walls. The fight was brutal. Soldiers clashed with enemies who used strange technology that bent light and twisted. Reality Mara fought through the smoke and debris, protecting the artifact as best she could. But in the confusion, the intruders seized an opportunity. Of them, cloaked in darkness, slipped past the guards and touched the artifact. The light flared, sending a shockwave that threw everyone back. When the light faded, the intruder was gone, vanished into thin air. But something had changed. The artifact's glow had shifted, becoming colder, harder. It was no longer just a beacon. It was a weapon and a trap. Commander Aaron realized the true danger. The artifact was not just a key to victory. It was a gateway, a bridge between Earth and the enemy's darkest forces. If they did not control it, the enemy would. The war was no longer only about ships and soldiers. It was about survival at every level, from the battlefield in space to the very minds of those who guarded Earth. Mara and Aaron formed a new plan. They would send a small team to the distant star system shown on the artifact's holographic. Map the place where the ancient war machine was hidden. It was a dangerous mission, but it was the only hope to unlock the artifact's secrets and stop the enemy's advance. As the team prepared to leave, Earth braced itself for the next wave of attacks. Shadow creatures stalked the colonies, and alien spies moved like ghosts within human cities. The enemy was inside and outside, everywhere, in the quiet before the mission's launch. Mara looked at the stars and whispered, "We will not let Earth fall. We will fight. We will survive." The Deathworlders were ready. The war had become a battle not just for land or power, but for the soul of humanity itself. The small ship that carried Mara and her team slipped quietly through space, leaving Earth's orbit behind. The destination was a distant star system, marked by the artifact's mysterious holographic map, a place forgotten by time, where the ancient war machine was said to be hidden. The crew was small but skilled, a mix of soldiers, scientists, and engineers, each carrying the weight of Earth's hope on their shoulders. The journey was long and filled with tension. Every sensor scan was met with silence or strange interference. The stars seemed colder here, as if the darkness around them was alive and watching. Mara sat quietly in the cockpit, her eyes never leaving the starfield ahead. She knew that beyond the empty space was danger. They couldn't see enemies waiting, traps set, and secrets that could destroy them all. The ship's engineer, a quiet man named Jocks, worked tirelessly to keep the engines running smoothly. "This place is old," he muttered one day, running his hands over the control panel. "Not just old, ancient. I've never seen technology like this in all my years." The scientists studied the artifact's readings, trying to understand the strange energy that pulsed from it. The map had led them to a system filled with dead worlds and ruins, planets scarred by battles from a time long past. It was a graveyard for lost civilizations, and the team could feel the weight of history pressing down on them. When they finally arrived, the team found a planet cloaked in darkness, orbiting a dying sun. The surface was covered in metal ruins, and strange machines, silent and still, like the bones of a giant beast. The air was thick with dust and the echoes of an ancient war. The team landed carefully, stepping out into a world that had not known life for centuries. Mara led the group. Through the ruins, their boots crunching on broken metal and shattered stone. They followed the map deeper into the wasteland, toward the heart of the war machine's resting place. But the planet was not empty. Hidden dangers lurked in the shadows' automated defenses, traps left by the ancient builders to protect their secrets. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. Machines long dead began to stir, their lights flickering to life. The ground trembled as massive war machines, half buried in the ruins, rose slowly from the dust. The team raised their weapons, ready for battle, but this was no ordinary fight. The war machines moved with cold precision, their eyes glowing with unnatural intelligence. The battle was fierce. Mara and her team fought with every ounce of strength they had, but the ancient machines were relentless.
Aye.
One by one, the team pushed forward, disabling the defenses and searching for the control center that held the key to the war machine. In the deepest chamber, they found it a massive console, covered in alien symbols, pulsing with the same energy as the artifact. As the scientists worked to interface with the machine, Mara kept watch, her heart pounding with the knowledge that the enemy might be closing in. Suddenly, the ground shook again. From the darkness, a new threat appeared: alien soldiers, loyal to the warship commander, had tracked them to the planet. The final battle was about to begin. The team fought with desperation, protecting the scientists as they unlocked the secrets of the war machine. Light flashed, weapons fired, the air filled with the roar of engines waking from long sleep. At last, the war machine stirred, its power flowing into the artifact, sending a pulse of energy across the galaxy. It was a signal, a promise of hope, and a warning to all who would threaten Earth. Mara stood tall amid the ruins, knowing their mission was just the beginning. The war was far from over, but now Earth held a weapon born from the past and ready to fight for the future. The pulse from the ancient war machine spread through the galaxy like a beacon. Earth's forces felt it, a surge of power and hope that sparked fire in their hearts. But the enemy was not far behind. The alien warship's commander had received the signal and was moving swiftly, gathering all forces for a final assault. Back on Earth, sky burned with the light of countless warships returning to defend their home. Commander Aaron stood on the bridge of the main fleet's flagship, watching the stars through the thick glass. The moment they had feared was here. The final battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. Lieutenant Mara returned with her team, battered but victorious, carrying new knowledge and power. The ancient war machine's secrets had been unlocked, a weapon of incredible strength, capable of turning the tide of war. But to activate it fully, they needed the artifact, and the artifact was still under threat. The enemy launched their attack with terrifying speed. Ships poured through the silent void storm like shadows rising from the deep, their weapons blazing. Explosions lit the void as Earth's defenders met them head-on. The battle was fierce and chaotic, every moment filled with danger and sacrifice. Amid the chaos, Mara led a special squad tasked with protecting the artifact's base. They fought with everything they had, blaster fire flashing through the dark corridors, alarms ringing, and the very walls shaking from impacts. The enemy was relentless, their goal clear: destroy the artifact, destroy Earth's last hope. Inside the base, the artifact's light pulsed strongly, feeding energy to the newly activated war machine orbiting above the planet. Slowly, the massive weapon came to life, its engines humming, weapons charging. Earth's forces had a chance, a real chance to win. But the alien warship was not finished. Its commander unleashed a hidden weapon, a wave of dark energy that spread like poison, disabling ships and systems, threatening to turn the battle in the enemy's favor. Commander Aaron's voice was steady but fierce as he gave orders to hold the line. In the heart of the fight, Mara faced the enemy intruders. Once more, the dark figure who had touched the artifact reappeared, wielding a strange power that twisted light and shadow. Their battle was a dance of danger, each strike echoing the fate of the world. with courage and skill. Mara struck the final blow, breaking the enemy's hold on the artifact. The light flared brighter than ever, sending a wave of energy that pushed back the dark forces. The war machine fired its first shot, a beam of pure power that tore through the alien fleet. The enemy ships shattered, their assault broken. The silent void storm began to calm, the dark clouds parting to reveal the stars once more. But Commander Aaron knew the victory was hard-won and fragile. The galaxy had been changed forever. Ancient powers had awakened, and new threats would always rise. But Earth had survived. The Deathworlders had answered the cry from the stars with relentless force and unbreakable will. As the stars shone bright above, Commander Aaron and Lieutenant Mara stood together, looking toward the future. The war was over for now. But the galaxy held many secrets yet to be uncovered, and Earth's defenders would be ready. The cry had echoed across the stars. Earth had answered, and the story was only just beginning.